A panda and a cat celebrate Christmas in the sweetest way. The first snow of December fell quietly, like it was trying not to wake anyone. It covered the town in a thin white layer, soft enough to hide cracks in the road and broken corners in people's lives. Christmas lights were already hanging on balconies and windows, blinking slowly, some missing bulbs, some shining too bright. The world looked gentle from far away. Up close, it was more complicated. At the edge of the town stood a small animal rescue center. It wasn't pretty. The paint on the walls had faded, and the wooden gate leaned a little to the left. The sign above the door flickered when the wind blew. Most people drove past it without noticing. Inside, the air was warm but tired. Maria unlocked the front door just before sunrise. Her breath showed in the cold as she stepped in, rubbing her hands together. She had been doing this every morning for years, even when she was sick, even when the holidays felt heavy instead of happy. "Good morning, everyone," she whispered, as if the animals were sleeping children. Some tails wagged, some eyes opened slowly. Some animals didn't move at all, and in the far corner, behind a low wooden fence reinforced with metal bars, a panda sat very still. His name was Bo. He was not supposed to be here. Bo had arrived 3 months earlier, after a transport truck skidded on an icy road and tipped into a shallow ditch outside the town. The truck carried animals from a closed wildlife park. Most were sent to larger facilities. The panda was meant to go to a national reserve far away, but paperwork got lost. Phone calls went unanswered. Winter came faster than expected. So Bao stayed. He was smaller than people expected a panda to be, not a cub, but not fully grown either. His fur was thick but dull, like it had forgotten how to shine. His black eyes carried a calm sadness that made people lower their voices when they passed him. He ate slowly. He moved carefully, and he watched everything, especially the door. On that same morning, a small grey cat sat on the other side of the building, tucked inside a cardboard box near the heating vent. Her fur was short and uneven, one ear slightly torn. She had been found behind a grocery store, hiding under empty crates. No collar, no microchip, no name. Maria had called her Luna because she arrived late at night and refused to come out until the lights were dim. Luna did not trust easily. When Maria reached into the box, Luna hissed softly, not angry, just scared. Maria stopped immediately. "It's okay," she said gently. "You don't have to be brave today." Luna's yellow eyes never left her face. Christmas was only 10 days away. For most people, that meant gifts and food and music. For Maria, it meant stress. Donations slowed down after early December. People focused on their own families. Heating bills went up. Food costs rose. And this year was worse. The rescue center had received a notice from the town council. Funding would be reviewed after the holidays. Depending on results, some animals might be relocated. Relocated was a soft word. Maria knew what it meant. She folded the paper and placed it in her pocket, pretending it wasn't there. Later that morning, while cleaning the panda enclosure, Maria noticed something unusual. Bo was standing, not pacing, not eating. Standing near the fence, his head slightly tilted, eyes fixed on something. Maria followed his gaze. On the other side of the fence, near the storage shelves, Luna had slipped out of her box. She moved quietly, body low to the ground, tail stiff. She had never been this close to the panda area before. The room felt suddenly very still. Maria held her breath. Pandas were gentle, but they were still powerful animals. Rules existed for a reason. Luna, Maria whispered, trying not to startle her. The cat froze. Bo didn't move. Their eyes met. For a long moment, nothing happened. Then Luna took one small step forward. Bao lowered himself slightly, sitting down as if to make himself smaller. His movements were slow, careful, almost thoughtful. Maria's heart beat faster. "Okay," she murmured. "Easy, both of you." Luna sniffed the air. She was close enough now to see the panda's breath fog slightly in the cool indoor air. Instead of hissing, she sat just like that. Bo blinked once. Then, to Maria's shock, he let out a soft sound. Not a growl, not a snort, a quiet, low hum. Luna tilted her head. Maria felt tears sting her eyes for reasons she couldn't explain. The moment passed when a door slammed in another room. Luna startled and darted back toward the boxes. Bo returned to his corner, but something had changed. That night, Maria wrote in her notebook, "The panda noticed the cat today." She underlined the sentence twice. Over the next few days, small things began to happen. Luna started leaving her box during the day. She stayed near the warm vents, then near the shelves, then slowly closer to the panda enclosure. She never crossed a certain invisible line, but she watched. Bo began sitting closer to the fence. He ate less when the room was loud, more when it was quiet. When Luna appeared, his ears twitched slightly, like he was listening to something only he could hear. They never touched, but they waited for each other. Volunteers noticed it too. "It's strange," said Tom, a college student who helped on weekends. "He looks calmer when she's there." "Or maybe she looks calmer because of him," Maria replied. Outside, the town prepared for Christmas. Inside, the rescue center struggled. A delivery of bamboo was delayed due to snow. Maria rationed what she had. She added extra vegetables, hoping it was enough. One evening, as the sun disappeared early behind grey clouds, the power flickered, then went out. The lights died. The heaters shut down. The building fell into a cold, heavy silence. "No, no," Maria whispered, fumbling for her phone. The storm had knocked out lines across the area. Repairs would take hours, maybe longer. Animals began to stir, some whining, some barking. The temperature dropped quickly. Maria grabbed blankets, moving from enclosure to enclosure, working fast, her hands shaking. She saved the smallest and weakest first. When she reached Bo, she hesitated. His enclosure was larger, colder. She threw 2 thick blankets over the fence, arranging them near his sleeping area. "I'm sorry," she said quietly. "I'm doing everything I can." Bo looked at her, eyes steady. Then something unexpected happened. Luna slipped under the fence. Maria froze. Luna, no, the cat didn't run. She walked slowly across the cold floor and curled up near the blankets, just close enough to feel the panda's warmth, but not touching him. Bo shifted slightly, creating space. Maria covered her mouth. For the first time since the storm began, the room felt warmer. Hours passed. Maria sat on the floor, wrapped in a coat, watching them from a distance. Luna slept, her tail wrapped around her body. Bo remained awake, breathing slow and deep. The power returned near midnight. When the lights came back on, Maria cried quietly into her sleeve. She didn't separate them. The next morning, news came with the mail. The National Reserve had finally responded. They would take but. After Christmas, Maria read the letter twice. She should have felt relieved. Instead, her chest felt heavy. She looked across the room. Bo sat near the fence. Luna sat on the other side, watching each other. Christmas was coming, and so was goodbye. Maria didn't know yet that the hardest part wasn't letting go. It was realizing how much 2 unlikely souls could change everything in such a short time. She closed her eyes for a moment and whispered, "Please let this Christmas be kind." Outside, snow continued to fall, soft and quiet, as if listening. Soft closing line. Sometimes, before the miracle arrives, all you can do is stay close and wait in the cold together. The Christmas they chose, the days before Christmas, moved slowly, like the world itself was unsure how to continue. Maria tried to act normal. She cleaned, fed, smiled at volunteers. But every time she passed the panda enclosure, her steps slowed. Bao was leaving soon. The letter stayed folded in her pocket like a quiet weight. Luna seemed to know something was wrong. She stayed closer to Bo now, not inside the fence, but always near it. When he slept, she slept. When he sat up, she lifted her head. It was not loud affection. It was presence, steady and calm. On the 3rd night before Christmas, the storm returned. This one was worse. Snow fell heavy and fast, covering roads, blocking paths. Phones buzzed with warnings. Volunteers cancelled. Maria was alone at the rescue center when the wind began to howl. Then the power went out again. Maria closed her eyes for 1 second, steadying herself. "Okay," she whispered. "We know how to do this." She moved quickly, lighting lanterns, laying out blankets. The animals were nervous, but not panicked. Maybe they remembered the last storm. Maybe they trusted her. When Maria reached Bo, she noticed something different. The panda was not in his corner. He was standing at the fence, and Luna was already there. Before Maria could react, Bo gently pushed one of the blankets closer to the fence with his paw. The movement was slow, careful, almost thoughtful. Luna stepped forward and curled up against the fence, right where the warmth gathered. This time they touched just slightly, fur against fur. Maria felt her chest tighten. She sat down nearby, lantern glowing softly, snow tapping against the windows. Hours passed. The cold stayed outside. Bo lowered his head and rested it near Luna. She did not flinch. She placed one paw forward, resting it against the metal bar. They stayed like that. Two animals who should never have met, two hearts keeping each other steady. Near dawn, Maria's phone rang. It was the reserve. Roads were blocked. Transport would be delayed. Not days. Weeks. Maria leaned against the wall, breathing out slowly. "Thank you," she said, her voice shaking. When Christmas morning came, the rescue center was quiet. No music, no visitors, to snow, light filtering through frosted windows, and the soft sounds of breathing. Maria brought small treats, extra fruit for Bao, warm food for Luna. She tied a simple red ribbon to the fence, more for herself than anyone else. "Merry Christmas," she whispered. Bao blinked slowly. Luna purred. That afternoon, a group of people arrived unexpectedly. Neighbors, families. Someone had shared a photo online. A panda and a cat resting together during a storm. Donations followed, blankets, food, promises. One woman knelt near the fence, eyes wet. "They found each other," she said softly. Yes, Maria thought. They did. The reserve never came. By the time roads cleared, new plans were made. Bo was allowed to stay until spring. Luna was officially adopted by him. The fence was adjusted. Rules rewritten, exceptions made. On Christmas night, snow fell gently again. Bo lay peacefully. Luna slept curled against him, and for the first time in a long while, the rescue center felt full, not of noise, but of warmth. Sometimes Christmas is not about where you belong, but about who you choose to stay with when the night is cold.